I'm David Silverstone, and I'm in the Boo Club.
My head, right? It was. That was. All right, hang on a second.
You already have kids. It's no big deal.
Oh, hang on.
I'm actually really now.
All right, guys. This man is a Belleville Bulls legend. He played 2 seasons with your Bulls, followed by an amazing 5-year pro hockey career. He joined the Bulls in the 2001-2002 season and played on 2 of the most memorable teams in history. Over the course of his 2 years, he became the CHL Humanitarian of the Year, the leader of the Dog Pound line, and become one of the most memorable Belleville Bulls of all time. He'll be remembered for his grit, determination, and willingness to take on anyone and everyone who challenged him or his teammates. Ladies and gentlemen, backed by popular demand, one of the most requested celebs at last summer's Pay It Forward Sports Celebrity Golf Classic, and one of the most popular Belleville Bulls of all time, number 17, David Silverstone. Silver, thanks for coming on again, buddy. What's going on?
Not too much. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it, guys.
Oh no, we're pumped to have you on, buddy, and love the jersey in the background too. Like we were saying before, it's just it's a sexy setup back there.
Oh, you want me? I'll show you the front quick.
Sure, yeah, that'd be awesome.
I should have put it on a bit better of a hanger, but you know, yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you back, buddy.
I think they're one of the best jerseys in the OHL.
They were one of the best ones. Yeah, no, I love them. Yeah. And that, like we said, that was probably like pretty early after the jersey switch too, because it was like the old school Bull, then they made the new one right when I think when the MHA switched to the Bulls kind of thing.
Yeah, which was super cool, and like we were speaking earlier, I got one of the gold ones with the old school Bull on it, and they're cool jerseys, man.
Yeah, they're awesome. Mm-hmm. So I guess we just kind of wanted to start. I guess we'll touch about your time in Belleville again here. So I guess we can start right from the start. So my first question is like, what was the adjustment period like? So you said like last time when you made the Bulls, you came in, it was a big deal for you making the OHL, right? But like, how long did it take you get adjusted playing in the OHL? And like you guys had a stacked team that year, like we said last time. I think you finished first overall, right? So I mean, what was the adjustment like for you coming into the OHL? And do you have like a few memorable moments from those first 2 or 3 months in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't. You were running basically on adrenaline. Every game was so intense, and even though I was getting minimal ice time, just to be a part of a team like that, it was a pretty incredible feeling. So, but yeah, 10 games, 12 games in, I think by that time I had 10 or 12 fights. So I felt really comfortable, and and believe it or not, it was I think it was Mike. I think it was Jaker. I can't remember who gave me the nickname, but I think like the first 6 or 7 guys I'd fought, I'd split them. So they were calling me Razor Knuckles for a bit in the room.
Oh, you should have made that one stick, eh? That's a great
nickname. So it was pretty cool, yeah.
Who gave you that one? Who gave you that nickname?
I can't remember if it was Boyder or James Boyd or Jaker, Mike Jacobson.
Okay, yeah, Mike Jacobson. Okay, yeah. He was a...
Speaking of Boyder, he's with Canada again, eh? They just announced that.
Dude, incredible story.
Yeah, what a guy.
Unbelievable. But one thing with Boyder is I can't remember when I spoke about this, but that guy trained like, if not as hard as the hardest workers on the team when we played, or harder. Like when he would work out after practice and stuff. Yeah. Like he was a machine.
How old would he have been when he was coaching you guys? Because like he couldn't even been like more than 40 at that time, right? Because
he played like 25.
Because he played like in the Dan Cleary days, which was like 96, 97 kind of thing. So
yeah. So I to be honest with you, I don't want to say a rude number and get him mad at me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he might still be getting ID'd a little Texas that time because he was really young for sure. Like
for sure. 20s for sure, Flem. I'd bet on it. 20s for sure.
No, you're probably right with that.
High 20s while he was coaching us?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was all class, so it was and really, really mature. So it was hard to it was hard to tell.
No, that's a good one, yeah. So one cool thing that happened your first year, like I said, like you guys were first place that year, but Wellwood leads the league in scoring, and Randy Rowe puts up like 64 goals. Can you kind of talk about like that first line a little bit? Like what were they like? Because obviously you had a different first line the next year, right? So I mean, what was it like kind of watch Randy going on that run? Another guy that was at our golf tournament.
Dude, it was like it's probably a story for him, but for him to hit the 64 goals, truly incredible. But if you guys do get Randy on, have you had Randy on or no?
We had him on once as like a combined thing with Noobs, but it was more for like World Elite where they work the arena.
Oh,
So we didn't
okay.
like dive too much into like personal things. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a quick story that when I can't remember how many games he did it in the 64 goals, but he had I think he was at 60, and I can't remember who we were playing, but I think he had 4 beers at lunchtime. He said he was gonna have a goal for every beer he had. He had 4 beers before the game.
Come on.
He scored 4, and he scored 4 goals that night. Yeah, true. That's a true story.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where was the pre-drinking happening? What? Because I know in the 90s, I think this might have been before your time, but when Mavity was around, it was 2 gals. I know that some of the players went there. Was there like a spot?
What was the name of the place?
2 gals? It was in like Shanaville Plaza, but that probably was that before you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
way
that was
before
Mav
me.
days. Yeah.
To be honest with you, there was nowhere that guys would pre-drink, or I mean, if they were going out, like no bars that I could think of that it was like after a game or
Little Texas after, Little T.
yeah, or Matt and Joe's or Moviolas. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Movie Old's too. There's an old one too. That's
Yeah.
back.
So Matt and
And then
Joe's was
there-
open during your day? I didn't know Matt and Joe's even be opening that time. Yeah.
Yeah, we had like one of the biggest fights in history there.
Oh, really?
You got to hear about that then. Listen.
We played, and then I had a bunch of the guys come in from the city, like from where we are, and the night was great. Everybody was having a blast, and then all of a sudden, and what's crazy is we got our team leather jackets that night from Doc Vaughn and Mrs. Vaughn as a Christmas present. So one of my cousins asked me that night if they could wear the jacket. So, of course, they've came in, so I'm going to do it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the night's over. I don't even know who started the melee, what happened. But boom, it's like us versus the entire town. But we had about 8 or 9 guys with us. Matt Coughlin was there, Dave Cornacchia, a few of the boys. Plus, I had 2 cousins and 4 or 5 other buddies there. And this fight ensues, and it is insane. But what was getting scary is that there was no police came. Like the fight went on for like 20, 25 minutes. Usually at Little Texas, as soon as you say let's go, bang, the cops are pulling in the parking lot. And so whatever, long story short, one of my buddies got their nose broken real good. And then my cousin comes up to me and I'm like, dude, where's my jacket? He's like, bro, I got jerseyed. And the guy took the coat. And now I'm like, one, we want this fight to go undercover and nobody know that it ever happened. But now we're going to have a team function that's going to say, wear your jackets, and I don't have my jacket. So out of the melee, the scramble, the dust settles. I run into Matt Coughlin and Dave Cornacchia. And I'm like, Cogs, I got to get these guys out of here because they're, you know what I mean? They want to keep it going. I said, but somebody stole my jacket. I said, I need you to get my jacket back. I don't care what it takes, whatever you got to do, man. Please get this coat back for me. Yeah, Silver, and I'm like, it's gone for sure. Nobody's going to, there's no way anybody's going to be still hanging around. Cogsy and Cornacchia show up to my house about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, handful of double cheeseburgers dressed like Max, and my Belleville Bulls leather coat. They got into a fight with the guy to get my coat back.
So what were you more excited for, the hamburgers or the jacket?
I'm a sucker for cheeseburgers, but I was very happy to have my coat back.
Hey, sometimes when it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, though, isn't that the best thing ever when you get?
Oh my goodness!
It's like, oh my god.
Very warming, very warming. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. And that story was you couldn't make that up, man. It was incredible that he got it back. And to this day, I still have it. It's still in the basement.
And that just shows the class of him, though, to make that probably his thing where, by the end of the night, I got to get this jacket back for Silver. Because like you said, I mean, we've been a part of teams. You finally get something from your team, especially a leather jacket. Like that costs the team quite a bit for 20 of them or whatever, or probably plus coaches. Yeah. And then, hey, guys, we're wearing our jackets next thing. And, you don't want to be that guy showing up without it.
And of all guys, it's me, I'm like, no way, man. I'll back anybody if they're jammed up, to hide them. But me, I'd stick out. They're like, Silver, what's going on? Where's the coat?
Yeah. Oh,
And to have the memorabilia is truly like I gave away 90% of my stuff, anything I ever had or got. And sometimes I regret it because now I'm looking back and, like the only things I got left is my jersey, a couple jerseys, my Bulls leather coat, and my brother has my original Bulls leather bag, the hockey team bag.
They were sharp.
Very cool, man. Very cool. But nowadays, these kids get all this now, right? Like you get the leather bag, you hear names on your gloves, names on your stick, in like novice. It's crazy.
Well, Fleming and I were actually talking about this the other day. I remember when I played junior, I only played tier 2, but I remember that was the first time I got my name on my back of my jersey, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And now the kids are like novice, house leaguers. I don't know if house league or not, but rep anyways. And they got their names on their back, and everything's all dressed up. And I'm like, shit, like we look forward to that, right? Like you had to make that team to get that stuff. You know what I mean? Not that it's just things have changed, I guess, and it's easier to do that. But
we couldn't even pick our numbers back in the day, right? Like we were talking about, like we only had like a set amount of numbers you could use. So
like 1 to 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, and that's where I'd say like if you guys recognize that, you're more built old school, and that was me. Like I didn't get my name on my jersey till my first year AAA in Bantam.
Okay.
And then and then you move up and you're like, I want to play tier 2 because you can wear a half visor.
Yep.
And then the O was where I got my first batch of sticks with blades with my name on them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of we're on minor hockey. What was minor hockey like for you? Because like you said, like you're coming into the OHL and like your first 10 games, you got like 10 fights. So and like we were kind of, I think we're 88s. So it probably wasn't the same as it was for you, but I mean, was minor hockey kind of like the Wild West back then? And like, were you guys fighting in like Pee Wee or Bantam, or were your first fights kind of camp kind of thing?
From novice to Pee Wee, we were one of the best teams in the city, single A, double A, and then it was AAA from Bantam to midget for me and Mark to play with the Markham Islanders. And what's crazy is one of my boys, they're like, man, you tell all these fight stories all the time and you never tell. So my first fight was I think it was in Bantam. And the guy just reached out to me actually on Facebook. I don't know if I told you guys this, but his name was Jarrett Wynn. And he beat the fish and chips out of me in AAA. True story. And so then, believe it or not, that it's a cool story. Like I got my head kicked in. I admit it. I own it. But he didn't knock me out or down. And I told my old man that'll never happen again. And then I played tier 2 for the Axemen. And I can't remember if we were winning or not, but the name of Johnny Bushima, I can't remember. I think he was drafted. And it was like a 4-on-4 line, 5-on-5 line brawl. And I got paired up with this guy. He was probably 6'1", 6'2". And by no means was I a fighter. Like, no way. And he's like, we're going when they're all done. Like, as each fight ended, another fight started. I'm like, no, man, no. And it's finally, as soon as he said, let's go, I hit him with a left hand. Bang, he dropped. And it was like, it's crazy, man. And my adrenaline, I guess, was so cranked up that I literally picked him back up with one hand and I caught him again. And by the time he hit the ice and I put my head up, the entire Pickering Panthers bench had jumped and was coming to kill me.
No way.
And I don't even know why I don't tell people that story, because it was my one of my good buddies, Stevie Devine, just messaged me about that fight, and that, because it was so long ago. But that's a true story. I dropped this guy for the second time, and when I put my head up, the whole bench was coming. And that bench brawl lasted about 40 minutes.
Whoa.
And they were letting the guys go, because the refs could not do anything. So the guys were going into the circle, just like right out of the movies, like Fight Club.
And that's like at 15 or 16 years old kind of thing?
No, it's junior A. So
junior A. So what is that, 16 to 20?
Yeah, you would have probably been 16, 17 when you played there, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
17 probably.
17, yeah.
Yeah, I played in Belleville at 18.
Yeah. So what was that like, though? I mean, how tired were you after? And did somebody get their hands on you after that all happened?
This is how cool this story plays out. So I dummy this guy. I look like a full-blown killer. And when the whole team's coming back to me, I'm backpedaling with my hands up. And it was like there was Like my boy timed it. He wasn't playing or he was suspended. He had opened the door, pulled me off, and closed the door.
No way.
So I wasn't even a
That's
part of
crazy.
the. Yeah.
I love it though.
Oh yeah. Excuse me.
Could you imagine though if that didn't happen? That's what I was wondering because, like, you know what? Two guys get a hold of you, they know they're going to take extra shots, and that's the problem. Like, I guess with line brawls back in the day is, I mean, so many dirty things could happen, right?
And that's, you know what? And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
You know, that's where, and believe me, like once I was off the ice, the relief was gone. I'm like, wow, I'm out of this now. You know what I mean? Because when you see 20 guys come, and like we've had our altercations as kids in the city and shit like that, and you know, fights and this, that, and the other thing, and it is scary, man. You know, so that's why you got to know to protect yourself a bit. But against 3 or 4 guys, there's, you know, not much you can do.
Now, once you were off the ice, obviously, for anybody that's played hockey, what happens on the ice stays on the ice most of the time. In that situation, did anybody try anything after? And just to go on with that question, have you ever had anybody where they tried to carry it on after the ice, maybe in the locker rooms or the parking lot?
I'm not one to pump my own tires, but I had a good support crew wherever we went. So for a young, you could even call them bodyguards. They weren't, but we never, you know, a lot of guys thought about that, and there was potential, but it never ever really cracked off like that.
That's good then. That's the way it should be, right?
Yeah.
What happens on the ice stays on the ice.
Yeah, no, but for sure, especially in the city, that stuff's like, it's true. Like there was multiple games, but they knew me, they knew my name, they knew our neighborhood, so we didn't really. And like I said, my dad, we'd always bring at least 5 or 6. My brothers, sister, cousins, friends, everybody would come to MTHL games. It was nuts.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, Flem. Well, actually, just to say on that, like this, I had that happen once to me. I got a high stick one time, and it was a men's league game, and it was a dirty play. You could tell the guy meant to do it. I was going around him. So, of course, I'm pissed off. I want to go the guy. I'm like, let's go. Let's get it over with. That was a bullshit play. No, I'm not fighting you. You'll beat me up because I can't. I'm not good on skates or whatever. So, whatever, it ends. And then after I'm walking to my car, I can't remember if it was a tournament. It was years ago. The guy's like, you want to fight now? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you high stick me on the ice. Like, that's why I asked if anything ever like happened with me. Of course, I don't have bodyguards or anything.
Yeah,
Just
no,
me,
but,
eh?
and it's like, no, man, I'm not fighting you in the street. Like, this happened on the ice. We should have dealt with it then. We didn't. But, you know, that's the way it should be. Go hard as you can between the boards, and then afterwards, you got to respect each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to.
But that's those guys, right? They're the ones that don't want it on the ice, and then as soon as it goes off the ice and you get into it, then they're the one that they want to call the police. They want to get you in more trouble.
Oh,
yeah. And I've dealt with. That's why I do my best not to play men's league. I like shit like pick up with friends, or if you recommend it, say these guys are legit, like they're good guys. Okay, because one cool story in the off season after the one of my good buddies, Dana Carnegie, was one of I think he was ranked #1 best bull hockey goalie in the world.
Oh,
Played
really?
for Team Canada. Look that guy up.
Carnegie, okay.
And he's very tough. One of the toughest on the street in the city in Toronto.
Yeah. And
by reputation. And he brought me out to this tournament, and he's like, come on, play. I'm like, no, come out, hang out, watch, you know. I was like, I don't want the baloney guys trying to fight and this, that, and the other thing. He's like, nobody will go near you, I promise. So after he promised me a veal sandwich from California, so I was sold. And first shift, I swear to God, this guy comes right up to me, and I look like a straight meathead, right? I got the mohawk, leather swoops, all that jazz. And the guy's like, hey, man, we're going to get her going. Let's go. I'm like, nah, you got the wrong guy. I'm just here to play and have fun. And he two-hands me right across the chest. He's like, we're going. And now we got like 30 guys in the stands, right? All guys that I know. They're like, oh, my, now I can't puss out. I got to go. And just as I'm about to go, my homeboy comes flying across the ice, hits this guy with a massive right hand. I swear he went 3 or 4 feet in the air and ends up against the boards and is snoring like he's out cold.
Oh, no way.
Dude. So, and I think Brian Spencer was the convener of the tournament. He always ran all these money tournaments for the guys. And the boys drag him, put him on the put him on the bench, and as he comes to, they're like, don't go back on the ice. He's like, those guys are gonna kill you now. Like, just you sit here for the rest of the night. And that's my glorified bodyguard, good buddy, men's league story there.
Now, was that ball hockey, did you say?
That was ice hockey, but
Oh, that was ice hockey.
But my boy, the name I mentioned, he was a ball hockey goalie as well.
I got to look him up because I know quite a bit of guys that used to play there and whatnot. So would have been before my time, but
yeah, and a dash before my time. Like, he's a little bit older than me as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But he played for like Midnight Express, I think was the
I played a year with them actually, with that team actually.
Yeah,
about 10 years ago and 50 pounds ago. But
so if you drop Dana Carnegie, they'll know the name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of line brawls, I don't really remember any line brawls kind of when you were in their Bulls days. Like, were there anything like I don't think anything popped off like line brawls or like bench brawls or anything like that when you're playing, right?
We had. To my recollection, we had 2 line brawls. We had one against Barrie in Belleville. It was an afternoon game, like a Sunday afternoon or something, one of those rare ones.
Yeah.
It was the dog pound, me, Cody, McCormick, and Paymont.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And it was actually pretty good because they had like a decent, pretty thick Russian on their team, and that's why I got tangled up with it. It was a good fight. And then there was a wild one. It was against Windsor at home. And it was us again, the dog pound line. And Cody McCormick put it on Sinacori. I don't know if you remember that last name. He was a Windsor Spitfire.
Sounds familiar, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sinacori. I can't remember his first name. And he was no slouch either, but I'll never forget McCormick went straight ham on him, and the whole visor was full of blood. Yeah. But that was really the only 2 line brawls. Otherwise, it was more just like a big hit and a fight and then a fight. And the Kitchener game was really cool. I think there was like 3 or 4 fights in a row, one after each whistle, which was pretty sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that last time when Gilmore went Kinkle kind of thing. I think you had a Modio, right? And Paulicelli Bennett, yeah. Because after we talked about that on the last show, a bunch of guys messaged me about it. Like, I was at that game in Kitchener. Like, it was unreal. And people actually remembered that like really well. That was one of the most things that stuck out the most last time, actually.
Was the Kitchener, yeah. And well, Kitchener had a wicked rink as well, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mini Maple Leaf Gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you kind of touched on McCormick. So can we just talk with him for a minute? Like, because it feels like he was one of those guys that were just like undercover tough. Like, maybe you and Gilmore kind of got like more of the recognition kind of thing. But McCormick, man, he could swing him. Do you have any stories about him?
He was I mean, obviously he was legit tough. There's no question. The guy, he did it in the O and he did it in the show. But I think like one, he could take a punch, and I mean, native indigenous, I don't know the right term, but without being rude, but he was one of those indigenous guys that could take a punch and could severely give one. And his forearms were like, 3 times the size of mine. His legs were like that. So he could take a punch, and 2, he had a boatload of power. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't afraid of anybody. I think one of his most memorable fights is he fought that Jefferson who's Danton now.
Oh, Danton, yeah.
Yeah, he had a wicked one the year before I made the team. The year I got cut, I think he had a wicked fight with him in the playoffs.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Cody was super tough. There's no question. I mean, you don't go to the show. You can't be, he showed his toughness doing who he fought in the NHL.
Did he end up going to Europe after? I haven't put up his stats.
To be truthfully honest, I have no clue.
Oh, no.
He's my Paymont is my brother-in-law, and he's Paymont's brother-in-law.
Oh, really? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you see them often? I know you see
Paymont I do, but McCormick rarely. Maybe once every couple of years, maybe.
Oh, okay. So not.
But he's doing good. He's got a family. He's got a couple hockey players in his family up now. But one of his fights was he actually fought a bull too. Clarkson. He fought David Clarkson.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which when he explained the story to me, Clarky was really horny for a fight. And Codes was like, "We're both here. What are you doing? Like, there's no." It was when Clarkson signed with the Leafs, that monster deal.
Yeah.
And finally,
the NHL,
yeah, with the sign with the Leafs, and Codes broke his orbital bone. Right, put him out for a while.
Oh, Jesus, you hate that. Wow.
Yeah. And Cody was the one saying, like, hey, man, what are you doing? Like, we're here. There's no need.
Yeah.
We're both established guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny because that's probably like the third time that we've had someone on that's talked about Clarkson getting pounded by someone. I remember one time, I don't even know a guy named Matt Goody, but he played tier 2. He would have been around your time, but he played for Trenton.
He played for the Sting.
He played for the Sting, yeah.
Matt Goody, he's got a good name. He was a real tough guy.
He was a heavyweight, right? Yeah,
he was a heavyweight.
He was saying,
he got
I think
and he fought the American League.
Yeah, he played for Providence. Yep.
Yeah.
I think he said David Clarkson's first fight was against Matt Goody, and for whatever reason, Clarkson said he wanted Goody, and Goody said no, and finally he said yeah, and I'm pretty sure he said like he broke his nose or his orbital bone then too, or something like that. So that's the second or third time we've heard Clarkson kind of getting dummied a little bit.
But you know what? So take it for what it's worth. You need the experience. You know, like I said, my first 10 fights in the 08 fights, I got lucky and split a lot of guys, but you need those fights for the experience. And then, so yeah, he had a rough go in junior, but then, he fought Chris Simon. Like,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Like, that's one of the toughest of all time. So he's, and he did well in the show. Like I think Lucic was one of the guys that got him the best, but other than that, he handled himself really well in the NHL.
For sure, and made a pile of money too, right? So
and made a pile of money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
a pile.
I think his deal was like 7 years, like 49 million. I think he made.
What was it?
With the Leafs,
much?
yeah. I think he signed for like 7 times 7 or something like that when he signed.
Holy!
I think the Leafs might still be paying him.
No, they got out of that because they traded for Nathan Horton. Remember, Nathan Horton
him
had
instead,
like the back, and they just did like a straight flip because whoever they were playing for, I think it was Columbus, didn't like wanted to actually have a player play when Horton was just like done, and Leafs kind of ate his money, kind of thing. So that's how they got out of it, but that's how he kind of moved on.
That's right. And you know what though, great guy, great family. You know, his mom, dad, his brother Dougie, great people. You know, I'm happy for them. You know, to say that I got to play with the guy, and whenever we see him, same thing. He shows mutual respect, lots of love, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, good to hear. That's a guy we get on sometime, eh?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Just to touch on the Goody thing. So we ran a 4-on-4 tournament last April. We're gonna do it again this April. It's gonna be even bigger. Anyways, I had Matt Goody on my team because I'm best friends with his brother. Well, anyways, Fleming's basically suspended him for life from our tournaments. You can read behind the lines. So I need a tough guy. You want to come out? No. I'm just kidding. But I just had to tell that story real quickly because, well, he popped the guy, and the guy egged him on for an hour and a half before that. So I think the guy deserved it, but it is what it is.
And you know what? That's the shitty part, right? It only takes one guy to ruin I had the same thing, Marco My Sports. Guy begged for it. Then when he got it, he didn't like it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
you know, you sucker punch me, you this, you that.
It's pretty much the exact same story with Goody. Yeah. So.
The best part, though, is right before he got punched, he goes, "You wouldn't last 10 seconds with me." And then wham, that's what the guy said to Goody. Well, I don't know, buddy. You didn't last 1 second.
Yeah, not one.
But you're right. And I 100% agree with you. Like, you go to tournaments, guys see you, and then they go, "Who's this guy? Oh, he fought in the O, or he fought here, or whatever. You know, he played pro hockey. Well, I'm going to fight him just to show my buddies, basically. I fought this guy, right?" And again, you know, you're past that point in your life where, you know, you just want to go out and have a good time, and you don't want to screw around with the bullshit. And if you can do that, and the best times, you know, the best skates are when you're with your buddies, right? You know that's not going to happen. Everybody has a good time, and you still go hard. I don't know what you are, but when I play with my buddies, we still chirp and we go hard, and we make it fun, right?
Yeah, but at least it's better to know the guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
We've done it all the men's leagues and stuff. That it's too much bullshit for me.
Oh yeah,
it's funny how many guys will fight for a T-shirt on a Saturday morning.
And that's the truth, though, man.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah,
we went to Niagara Falls, and I think I can't even tell you how many fights there were. It was insane, man. Like,
really?
One, we're paying to play in this tournament, plus you're paying for your hotel, plus you're paying for your food, and then you're kicked out of the tournament after the first night. you know?
It happens almost every tournament, I swear. Somebody gets kicked out for something stupid.
Unless you like have somebody come in and say as soon as anything pops off, your team's done. You know, you're eliminated. Yeah. You want to chirp and play a little bit hard, fine, but as soon as someone fights, your team's out of the tournament.
Yeah. We'd have no more tournaments.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? It'd be done.
Yeah.
No, that would just be golf tournaments, right? Actually,
Yeah.
well, there
Yeah.
there was something at our golf tournament too.
Incredible.
Never mind, that didn't happen, Fleming.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, last time we chatted, we didn't really talk too much about your pro career, and you played 5 full seasons for the most part, right?
Yep.
So do you have any stories about that? And I think even one year you got 10 goals, did you not? So I mean, that's all right there.
Yeah, playing in Roanoke was super cool because we had the best part about Roanoke. I mean, aside from the city, was our arena was unbelievable. It was like an NHL barn, like old.
Really?
Yeah, it was like old school, almost like a Maple Leaf Garden feel. And it was huge. It was a huge rink. We had a huge room. We had half of the rink was our room. Like we had a massive lounge, massive workout area, great dressing room, training room, all that, man. It was very cool. And the fans, like I said, if it was like a Thursday night, packed house. So you get into a tilt there. Actually, Roanoke was the first place where they did like guaranteed fight night. So
Oh, really?
yes, but they got in big trouble for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't get away with that now. And where's this? Roanoke? How do you say it?
Roanoke.
Okay.
Roanoke, yeah, Virginia. Roanoke.
Oh, Virginia. Okay. All right.
And the owners at the time were dynamite guys, and they came up to me and they're like, "Silver, we need you to fight tonight, and we're gonna take care of you, this, that, and the other thing." I'm like, "No problem." You know, they're like, "It's guaranteed fight night, so if at least we're talking to you, we know, and we're asking you, we know we're gonna get one." And then within, I think that was at 5:00. Game was at 7, and I think at like just before warm up, like the whole brass come running down. They're like, "You cannot fight. You cannot." You know, I'm like, "What? You guys have already?" They're like, "We've had to cancel this. Blah blah blah. There can be no fights." First shift, I get right into it. They are pissed. But I guess they couldn't control that part of it. You know what I mean? Like, so they didn't end up. They couldn't promote it more than they had to stop promoting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most nights in like the league, like Central and East Coast, especially back then, you'd have at least one fight, anyways, wouldn't you? For most of the games, anyways.
Yeah. When I played, when I played with Roanoke, we led the league in penalty minutes and I think fighting majors. I didn't even know that we did that, but we did do that.
So who else would have been on that team that, as far as tough guys, did you have? You must have had a couple, or
yeah, there was. I think these guys were all Robert Snowball. I don't know if you know that name.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very tough guy. I played AAA with him, and then I think he played in the Q for a bit.
Okay.
And then Blair Stazer, a bit older.
okay,
I think he played in the O as well. I think Oshawa maybe. But no names. The only name you guys would know is Jason Jaffrey. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, I remember that name. Yeah.
He wasn't a tough guy, but he made it to the NHL from Roanoke.
holy jumpins!
Big jump.
He
Yeah.
played with us for like, I think he played with us for like the first 15 games, went up to the A, and then went to the show.
Good for
And
them.
that was the end of it. Yeah, never came back.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, but the odd guy does squeak through. Who was what's the guy from Vancouver? He played in the Coast, which is on par. Was that the Coast or the Central? They're basically on par with each other, weren't they?
They the Coast was higher, but then there was the strike and all that, and then they went to about par.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But who was the guy you were saying from Vancouver?
Oh shoot, from Vancouver, played with the Sedins. Alex Burrows. He played.
Yes.
He played in the Coast.
No way.
And then the AHL, and then the NHL. Yeah, and he had a great NHL career too. Like,
yes.
So
and
good.
you know what? He was a rat in the Coast, in the
Really?
A, and in the show. And he was such a real stickler. I'll never forget. He would always chirp, never fight, but he was scoring and driving you crazy, doing his job. And I'll never forget, Rick Kowalski was my captain in Roanoke my second year, I think, or first year, I can't remember. And Burrows lost his glove and went to like cover the puck, and my captain just give him it was beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Yeah.
See you later, hand. Got a
Yeah.
Simpsons hand now.
I don't think he broke his hand, but I mean, we were all hoping it did break when because he was now I wish him the best, but yeah.
Well, I think he's in Montreal's organization now, so maybe don't wish him the best.
You know what? He is assistant coach there, isn't he?
I think he is or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I think Alex Burrows is assistant coach for Montreal now.
Dude, it's incredible, man.
That's unreal to go from that league. And there was a goalie too with I can't remember his name now, but he was in Chicago. He a few years ago he did the same thing. Started in the coast, AHL, NHL. He was always a backup in the NHL, but still, I love to see the underdogs go.
No, Joel Ward. I don't know if you guys know that name.
Ward, okay, yeah.
Joel Ward. He took the scenic route to the show, right?
Did he? Yeah.
Like I think he went to school, the coast, the A, and then the show.
Oh, really? Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
Played. Where did he play in the Owen Sound? I think. Joel Ward.
Was it Owen Sound?
Another guy, Mike Mole too. Molesy would have played in the ECHL, and then he got some time in the show as well, right? So
another Molesy playing the Coast.
What's that?
Molesy?
Yeah, Molesy made it to the NHL. He backed up for 3 games for the Islanders.
Get out of here! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's back.
No wonder he's walking around with his head like this when I see him. I didn't know that.
What a shirt he had at the golf tournament, though, eh? Best golf shirt. Did you see him? I was
unbelievable.
Like, who's this guy, Don Cherry?
I used to call him Enrique Iglesias when we would go to our away games.
I wonder how long he planned that shirt for that tournament. He probably had it booked for a couple of months.
As soon as the invite, I can't remember how early or late you guys gave. I think you gave me the invite during this podcast, so.
Maybe, yeah.
As soon as he got the invite, I'm sure he went and got that shirt.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because he's the cop, and it just so happened he ended up with
oh boy,
the group that smoked, well, maybe not the most weed, but maybe the second amount most of the tournament. So
that was a great tournament, man. You guys did a hell of a job, man. That was a great time.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Well, thanks for coming to that too. We appreciate, and I know you had a good time and you brought your family. It was good to see that too. And now that I've got you on Facebook now, I see your kids are playing sports, and I was telling Fleming, I said, "Holy, it seems like every night he's doing something with them." I love it, right?
Oh, Thank you. Yeah, we try to keep him as busy as possible. Right now, everybody's man down. Everybody's sick right now, so they.
Oh, are they got that flu bug or whatever?
Yeah, that flu bug.
Yeah, I'm just getting over it too.
Yeah,
it's that time of year though, with the weather changing. That's what I find the worst.
Yeah. And that's true too. It's been hot, cold. So it is what it is. They've had a good run, so this will give them a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, toughen them up, eh?
Now I got something I'd love to chat with you about this. I'm going to surprise Fleming on this. Are you a Leaf fan, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Leaf fan? Okay.
Well, I know exactly where you're going already.
He knows where I'm going with this, but I got to do it because you're very, very similar style of player.
Yeah.
So I want to know your opinion on this. So I'm a big Senators fan, as you can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Chris Neal's number is going to be retired in Ottawa. You didn't know that? So they're going to do – it was just announced, I think, a couple days ago or whatever. And so they're going to hang it from the rafters, which is something totally different. I don't know if really many NHL teams, or if any, have hung anybody from that criteria, best way to word it. So I've got my opinion on it, and I'd love to – what do you think about that? They're going to do it, I think, February 17th or something. In my opinion, I think I don't. It's because he's the first one to kind of go on the rafters. It's definitely something new. I think Fleming. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did the Blue Jays they retire numbers, and then they also have around the stadium where they. If you don't make that, you know what I'm talking about, Fleming?
They have like a Ring of Honor or something like that.
Ring of Honor, and then and then they have something above that. In my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt, I think Neal would be worth the Ring of Honor. Ottawa doesn't have that. I think it's cool that they're honoring him, but I think it goes so much past points and goals. He brought so much more to the table, similar to what you brought to Belleville and what other guys that style of play bring. And also he's been involved with the community since he's started playing there, and he still is. Him and Phillips, I think, are the most ever, and they'll probably always be involved. Same thing you always were with your pro teams, and especially with the Bulls. So what's your thoughts on that?
Dude, that gives me goosebumps. That's incredible. As much as I'm not a Senators fan at all, I truly think that's unbelievable, and I'm super happy for him and his family because to have your jersey retired, that's usually it's only the greats, but believe it or not, I think he was great at what he did. He was tough as nails. He could score. He was a team player, and he was good in his community. And by them retiring his jersey like that, I think that's showing what kind of guy he truly is.
Yeah. And I think he has meant, and he still does to the Ottawa team. It's, I think for sure he's, great on him. It's different seeing the retired jersey from a player of that style. 100% he's worth, at least the Ring of Honor, which I know they don't have, but at least something like that. So
I truly agree. I think it's great that they did that. I think that shows, as much as they want to get rid of the fighting, that's how much they appreciate that kind of player. So the Ring of Honor is cool, but it's not the same. It's almost like second place.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you'd expect a spin from me, bro, because we haven't really talked about this, but I'd retire the jersey too. I think he meant
really.
I think he meant more to that organization than a lot of guys probably did there, right? Like, I mean, he just kind of promoted that culture of play tough, do anything it takes to win, and I think he was one of the biggest part of those teams. Honestly, I do.
Well, he was for sure. Yep, go ahead.
Even for a trash talker, like sometimes he could go above and beyond with it. He always backed it up. So.
100%.
And he fought good players and he fought tough players. He fought anybody.
Yeah.
And he was good enough to do that. He wasn't just a plug,
Yeah. And I think the other thing is he played his entire career there, like from start to finish. He wasn't on a couple different teams, right? So they take that in perspective, played over 1,000 games. And that's a lot when you're that tight, right? You got to figure broken hands, that style of play wears in your body more than goal scores. Right. Yep. So I know they play less minutes, but the minutes can be way harder. So I wasn't expecting that for you, Fleming, but I want to I had a second part to this. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think the Belleville Bulls, before they left, only ever retired one jersey, McIntyre, I think, which is way before our time. I think that's crazy that there was ever only one retired. So let's play a quick game here. Like maybe not a game, but let's say you were retire 3 jerseys other than McIntyre. What's your Bulls, guys?
From me?
Yeah, like of all time, I don't know. I just think it's crazy that we never had more guys hanging from the rafters in Belleville with all those good teams.
And what's crazy is because in the Yardman they had a list of the alumni.
Yeah.
So I can't pick 3, but if it was like 3 guys that I played with,
whatever
that I played with that I could verify for, it would be Wellwood, Spezza, and I'll go with a tough guy, Gilly.
There's a good list right there. I love it.
Yeah.
You got any in there, Fleming? I want to hear yours, buddy.
Yeah. I'd probably say, I don't know, I'd probably lean a lot to the team that wins, right? So I'd probably go Papineau because he was just unreal, Mr. MVP, right? Maybe like let's go Dan Cleary and Ryan Reddy.
Yeah, and the other guy I'd throw in there too would be 2 other guys might be Stajan and Chichu.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
like 2 huge pieces for both those puzzles, and I like the Cleary one. He was the big in that area, and it just blew my mind because it made me think of like retiring jerseys and stuff, and now Ottawa will have 3. Phillips was another guy, similar situation was with Ottawa for 1,200 games or something, then Alfredson. But I just thought, geez, with the Bulls, we got Silver coming on. They only had 1 guy retired. I just found that funny. So maybe when Fleming and I bring the Bulls back in 10 years, we'll retire some jerseys.
If I win that lottery tonight, we'll bring it back sooner.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you hear the Hamilton Bulldogs are looking for somewhere to go? Did you hear that for the next 2 years or something?
There's renovations at the arena, so they're not going to be able to play at their arena. And like apparently it was just a surprise the owner, like they were supposed to play through it, but whatever happens, something comes up, and now they need a new home for a couple of years apparently.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
kidding.
The stipulations they'd have to be the Belleville Bulls. It couldn't be the Hamilton Bulls.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
I don't even know if I'd want them to come back though, because it'd be such a tease, and it wouldn't be the same thing. It wouldn't be your team, and then after 2 years, they're gone. But
you know what? You're dead right too, because I think about that as like that loaner player trade bullshit.
Yeah,
like on a guy, it's garbage.
You got him for 20 games or whatever, and then
We'll win the Lotto Max. You guys fight over who's the GM. I'll be the owner, and you guys can be part owners.
Okay,
there we
perfect,
go.
yeah.
We're in.
Or
I'm
head
on-
coach.
We're bringing
Whatever
him back
you
for
want.
sure. We're bringing him
Yeah.
back for sure.
Once the Belleville Senators are back in Ottawa with the new arena or whatever happens there, but it would
I'll
be
buy
awesome.
them out. I'll ship them.
You'll just own the Senators after, eh? You'll be Ryan Reynolds' sugar daddy or whatever.
Ryan Reynolds sugar daddy.
Is he,
Well,
is he the new owner?
Well, he's trying to buy it apparently, but I mean, I
there's
think
a bunch of interest, like from other
Yeah.
people as well. I think the Hamilton Bulldog owner actually wants to buy them too.
really.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Yeah, I heard that.
What does he own? Do you know?
I don't know. Just the Bulldogs, I think. I don't know. Well,
No,
he
he's
owns,
got to have a company but to own these teams.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
'Cause it's going to go for like, and this is a low franchise. Like I think Toronto would probably go close to three billion, but Ottawa's
Yeah.
or 2.5 anyways. Ottawa, I think they're saying it's probably going to be around 900 million, which is crazy money, right? So
But that's though to rink too, like a downtown rink, like maybe that creeps up
Well,
to a billion and a half.
I don't know if that includes the arena they have, but obviously they're talking about building a new one, right? But
Are
I
they
think
still out in Canada?
yeah, but they're trying to build one downtown, which is the way to do it. I mean, look at Toronto.
Yeah, it's got to
Are
be.
you-
That's hands down worst rink in the NHL.
Oh, well, and that's why Arizona's moving too, right? I agree with you. I mean, I hate it. Like for us, if you're from Belleville, you drive up and back to the game, it's okay. But if you want to go for beers after, before, you got to take a car, you got to park. Fleming and I went to the Leaf game last Friday, and we're out having beers before, and you walk to the rink. Like that's the way it is, right? So
Yeah, that's crazy. When I didn't even know that because we went to watch my good buddy play Trevor Daly when he played for the Stars, and we got up for morning practice and we were hungover, and my boy's like, "Oh, we're like 40 minutes away." I'm like, "I ain't going. I'll see you at the game tonight." I'm not going to sit in the car for 40 minutes. Yeah. But and I think to top it off, the Sens beat him, and then we got into a big fight out there after the game. Yeah.
Suck it,
But it
Senators
was
fans.
like minus 40. Like Ottawa gets really cold, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but it is different than Toronto for sure.
It is different. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then nothing's compared. Like what we're talking about in Ontario, though, is nothing what they get like West. Like Winnipeg's supposed to get like. I think that's why a lot of the players don't want to go to Winnipeg. Is it's so damn cold and snowy, and it's a smaller city, so there's
Listen, man. Especially as you get older, like I want Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, blowout snowstorm.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good.
The rest of the time, no. I'll take.
Yeah.
So
I like your style, Silver. I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
If you could go, if you get drafted tomorrow, let's say you go back to your 18. What's other than Toronto, because obviously hometown, but where would you want to get drafted? Florida, Tampa Bay, something like that.
I guess somewhere warm,
Yeah.
LA.
LA.
Hey, there you go.
Too, yeah. Live with the stars.
That's it.
You might be a little rough for LA, buddy. I don't know. There's a lot of hippies out there.
Yeah, I know.
He might.
I'm talking if it was Gretzky's era, when you know what I mean. That would be.
Yeah.
All the movie stars went, eh?
But Dallas was beautiful. Dallas was incredible. That was a nice place to play. The American Airlines Center.
Oh
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Silver, what do you think of the NHL now and kind of like how it's played? Like, it just feels like the game's so different now than what it was back in your day, right? Like, do you enjoy watching? Like, so Jeff and I went to one of the Hall of Fame games on Friday, and I swear to God, we were talking about, it's like there might have been one hit all game. Toronto versus Pittsburgh. It just felt like the entertainment value almost wasn't there. Like, what do you feel about it? Is it the same to you, or?
It's not. It's the sad. Like I don't know if I said this your podcast or with the last one I did. It's when I heard guys say like you go harder in men's league than I do in the show. That's when I knew it had really changed. It's more like glorified men's league. Like the guys are top athletes, but there's no hitting. You can see that there's no real fire other than like the contending teams, and that fire doesn't really pop out until 3/4 of the way through the season now.
Yeah.
Like nobody's angry. Nobody's like, we got, you get 2 scored on you. Nobody comes out and fights or throws 5 or 6 big hits. It's just like, we'll go through the motions. No big deal. We'll go for steaks afterwards. Which
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
Which is a bullshit message to the kids. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
They can tell, that hunger is not there because these guys are paid so well, and I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? But it's and I get it. You don't want to get hurt. You want to be able to keep playing, but it's not the same for sure.
I think 100% I agree with you guys. It's definitely changed, and that hunger isn't there until basically playoffs. But you never see fights in playoffs. You see scrums and they're hitting and stuff. But I will say that there is the odd team that does have a little bit more jump than others, and unfortunately, Toronto's not one of those teams. And I think that's literally what they're missing. They're missing pieces to be able to, fight back and push back and keep them in games where they just play the skill game all year long, and it works a lot of time in the regular season. It doesn't work in the playoffs.
But again, so now we should just skip the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because it's every year it's the same shit. You destroy it. You do good in the regular season. The playoffs come, you're done the first round.
Yep,
it's a joke. But there's no there's no toughness anymore. It's completely changed. When we played in Belleville, man, I think we were aiming for 60 hits a game, 20 minutes a period.
Really?
Yeah, it was nuts, man.
Was there kind of a rule that everyone had to fight once a year in the OHL kind of thing? Because I can't remember almost anyone that didn't fight in Belleville. Everyone seemingly always had one. And especially of the draft eligible guys. It seemed like if you didn't fight, you wouldn't get drafted. Probably, I would assume at that time.
The gods. Now that you said that, it's actually a great, not a rule, but I mean, I can't think of one guy that didn't have at least maybe one fight. And don't forget practice, man. We had 15, 20 fights a year in practice.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, every team I ever played on, I fought 5 or 6 times every year in practice.
Is that just battles in the corner and guys get feisty at each other, or is it built up stuff? Or
there's that, and then not in the O. I fought because we were battling. When I played pro, it was more guys trying to. I don't know what they're doing. When I played pro, I was the guy. I was the tough guy. I was the team taking care of guys. And in battle drills, they would try to take liberties on me and not do shit like that in the game. So then I'd punch them out. Yeah,
you think?
And it was and it's anybody that played with me pro, if you ever run into them, you can ask them. And once it was done, it was done. But I'm like, you don't go that hard in the game, and then you try to hit me from behind and give me a cross check in front of the net. And if you were trying to show coach that, hey, look what I'm doing. I want to be in. Tell me that, no problem. But don't think I'm going to let you make me look like a fool and take liberties on me, and you won't do it to opposing team guys. No way.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
Yeah, I think almost every year, man, I fought 4 or 5 times.
That's
practice.
Wild, eh? Yeah. Any names you could drop who you fought in Belleville in practice, or?
Rob Dimitrick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was defenseman. Shit. Yeah, I can't put it there were so many scrums and shit, but I can't think. Dimitrick wasn't one that stood out because it was a good long fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And
what would Jimmy say? Did he just say, just let it wrap it up and that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Carnegie and Michael Knight. I think they fought 4 or 5 times in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I'll never forget. I think the boys were we're kind of hamming it up too. You guys got to settle this once and for all. There's got to be one more. And I think they squared off at center ice, took their helmets off, and Jimmy hadn't come on the ice yet. And as soon as he stepped off, they're squaring off, and he's like, "Pick your effing gloves up, put your helmets on, let's go." And they just picked it up, and that was the end of it.
Oh, so they never went?
No, he swore a lot. He actually screamed at them and was swearing at them to pick their shit up. I don't know if you can swear on this, so.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's funny just because I don't remember either of those two guys fighting much. Mike Knight didn't seem to fight very much. And Rain, Carnegie was obviously a skill guy, first round pick, right? So It's just funny. And we saw Carnegie Friday. He was at the Leafs game. He went on the ice for his grandfather's induction. That was really cool. It was really cool.
Incredible, man. What a story that is.
No kidding.
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Holy.
So was that his grandfather, guys? Or I thought his grandfather was already in, or was that his great-grandfather?
No, that was his grandfather who had passed, but he wasn't inducted into the Hall of Fame yet. He had a lot of contributions, but I think Rain even started a petition of some time, which kind of got the momentum going for him to get into the Hall of Fame. That push probably started 3 or 4 years ago, Brokey.
Yeah.
Oh, was that what it was? Okay, because for some reason I thought he was already in, and then I thought maybe this was a different relative, but obviously I'm wrong there. So But
Yeah.
good for them. That was awesome. I watched the Hall of Fame thing last night, and they had great speeches. I think it was his aunt and uncle that spoke, if I'm not, correct me if I'm
Yeah, I
wrong.
see that on Instagram today. He was telling people that they blew the doors off the speech.
Yeah.
They did great.
Yeah. So,
Great, yeah.
no, it's always good to see. And I mean, sometimes change is good for the better. And other times, like you say, we still need the hitting and we still need the rough stuff in hockey. And I think sometimes those are the teams that can push teams around too, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, for sure, man. Even in the shortened season, I knew we were done when Chara cross-checked Matthews and we had Colton Orr and Fraser McLaren on the team, and nobody even looked at Chara. I was like, they're going to lose. They're done. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Or it was Marchand, I think. Marchand cross-checked them.
What do you think of Marchand?
And that was the difference. Like, in the O in Belleville, like, I think we had a good amount of fights in playoffs as well. Like, if you look at the stats and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were ever trying to take a liberty in playoffs on a guy, it was game on, because suspensions were even harder to come by. They weren't just giving them away, right? Like, you could really go ham on a guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So
one playoff.
Go ahead.
I just say one playoff game I wanted to touch on, because it came out. I remember we were talking earlier. Is year one when you guys played Kinks in the first round. I think it was game 3, and I'm pretty sure you fought this game too. But wasn't it that like a 2 or 3 or 4 overtime game or something like that?
I think.
Do you remember that game?
I think, of course. I think Radovojevic scored the game winner and
I'm
jumped
pretty sure
up
it was
on
him
the
too.
rods.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I remember that game. Was at that end. Yeah.
It was in
It
Belleville.
was unreal. His gloves and everything went in the stands, didn't it?
Yes.
Sticking gloves. That was awesome.
That was incredible, that
Yeah.
game. Well, what? It was 3. It went 3 or 4 overtimes.
I think it was 3 or 4 for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had to be 3 because we scored in there and we scored in the visiting end.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another guy that was awesome too. I haven't even thought of that name in a long time. Radovojevic, or however you say it.
Dude, he was a full-blown weapon, that guy.
Yeah, was
Oh,
he?
yeah?
Oh,
Was he
Great
Czech
teammate.
or?
Yeah, he was Czech. I think he was Czech.
Slovak or
Oh,
Slovak
Slovak.
or Czech.
Yeah.
Because him and Chauvin, I think, were for the same country.
Okay, so
Slovak.
Slovakia, I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and Branko got to play in the show, and I think he played in the Olympics as well.
Oh,
believe
that's
so, yeah.
right too. I forgot about that. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
did those boys like to drink from over there? Or what
Yeah,
was-
when it was party time, like if it was a Saturday night game we had won, game on. The boys would be pounding the bevies.
boys are going out hard. They're getting their
Yeah.
pictures, little T's or MJs, and
That's it.
rolling in the parking lot.
Especially, that was serious. Like, Brad Vaughn wasn't impressed because it got back to him.
Oh, did it? That's the worst.
Yeah, and I guess he heard from somebody else that my boys had weapons. I'll deny it till I die. They didn't have any, but that's
Let's get it
broken.
spread around.
That's broken telephone, right? We're not like that and shit like that. So, but yeah, and that was another time I was scary because he got me alone in the hallway and he's like, "Hey, buddy, I heard you had a pretty heavy Saturday night," and I'm like, and I deny it, and then he started going into like you really knew the story. So, but no cop showed up. No police.
That's weird. Eh?
Yeah.
Who was a guy on the team, maybe year 1 or year 2, who wasn't going to miss a night at Little Texas or drinks or anything? Like, was there anyone that just didn't matter what they were going that night?
You know what, man? We had a good group, man. I can't we had fuck it. There was a good group, man. And it was the older guys, really. Like, I shouldn't say older guys because eventually I was there, but like the Policellis, Corey Campbell, Jaker, Corny, those kind of guys, they would dictate, like, if say you had a big Saturday night, no going out Sunday, but those boys would be going, then they'd pick a selective few to roll with them on the Sunday night.
So
really?
Who was your crew? Like when you were a rookie, who were you rolling with usually?
Dude, I was rolling with the big boys. Come on,
The
what
big
do you
boys,
think?
eh?
Yeah, I was fortunate, man. I'm not pumping my own tires, but the boys were great to me right off the bat. Like, I was sitting damn near close to the back of the bus. I think I had my own seat, and I could chirp guys and shit like that. It was good, man. The boys were really good to me.
That's
But
awesome.
treat people how you want to be treated, right?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
It's like we're talking about Neil getting his jersey hung. That's respect, and respect is a rare thing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many people have it, and they don't give it, and And that's why the world's so crazy right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing worse than a rookie coming in and just being cocky as hell, thinking he's better than these vets and stuff. I've seen it, and it's like, you know what, man, you're doing the wrong thing. Where you come in, you're nice, you'll do anything for them. You treat guys with respect, even if sometimes you might get a little bit of pushback just because they're vets and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what it is, but you take it and you own it. Guys are going to take that and go, we like this guy.
And even in the O, I was fortunate. Like I said, I treated everybody with respect and was a funny guy and a team guy and a fought and this, that, and everything. So I never really got messed around with too hard. And especially like the rookie shit was a joke. Like we just, it was just locker room stuff. But it wasn't until I'm pro, like where I ran into these guys my first year and he's like, hey, grab this, do that. And eventually I was like, after about 7 or 8 games, I'm like, I'm fighting. You're a coward. I'm not going to take any more of your shit until you step it up. So I got fined the most, but then my go-to line my first year pro was I got the money in the pocket, and if you can get it, you can have it. I owed like 300. Yeah, oh yeah. And the boys didn't like that. Like, our older guys came out and they're like you got to pay some of the fines. I said, listen, anything that's warranted, I'll pay, but this yuppie telling me to do this, and this. And he's a coward on the ice. I'm not doing it. I have no respect for him. Sorry. I respect you, but I don't respect him.
So what ended up happening? Like, did you end up paying some or?
I paid some that were warranted or whatever, but nothing like this idiot would just try and fine me for whatever. And
so what were the rules? Like, who could give out fines? Like, was it just anyone older than you kind of thing, or was there a set amount of rules for it?
No, it was, you had to follow rules like load the bus, pick up pucks, blah, blah, blah. But there was like, get me a Gatorade, make me a bagel, because in Roanoke we had a wicked room, like it was, and I was like, no, I'm not making you a bagel. If I go to make you a bagel, I'm gonna eat it on the way back, and you're not getting your bagel anyway. So
I thought you were gonna say something else, maybe
wearing it. Yeah. No.
Here, buddy, come get your bagel.
And when I became a vet, if I seen a vet picking on a young guy, I'd be like, hey man, like this is our teammate. What are you doing? So, and then that's where I kind of became like a team favorite guy as well, because I was fair with everybody. I never, just because you're a rookie, as long as you were doing load the bus, pick up the pucks bullshit or whatever, then we were good.
Yeah. And that's the respect thing, right? Like you treat guys with respect. Even though you can tell this guy, go get me a Gatorade, go do this. You don't have to be hard on these guys, man. You want to do it once in a while just to have fun with it or whatever. It is what it is. But sitting there trying to get a bagel every day, just because I'm the man, I'm older or whatever.
You're not the man. You're not.
That's not team hockey. It's not team sports.
No, and most of the time, if you were going to the fridge, you'd say, "Hey, boys, you want a drink? You want
something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the cool part of pro is having the corny perks in the room, Gatorade, chips, chewing tobacco. We had like a little fridge of chew in San Angelo. All kinds of cool.
Any good restaurants or bars for comps playing pro?
We had 50% off most restaurants every year I played.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
So it was really cool. And in Roanoke and pretty much in Roanoke, if you ran into a fan there, they'd pick up the tab or they'd be like, "Hey, come join us." Like, yeah, there was a lot of money too in Roanoke. Like a lot of the fans were great fans with money, and even the fans without big money were incredible human people, man. Yeah. I was blessed. I was fortunate. I got to. I don't really have many bad or shitty stories really.
Now, what made you retire from hockey? Like, what made you just finally say, "I'm done"?
It was just getting too played out. Like I love the game, but really and truly, my last year was like in Amarillo. That was the end for me. I was like, I'm done with this shit. Like nothing to do with the fans or the people in Amarillo. It was more the coaching that was a complete turnoff, and I was like, I'm not willing to go through this bullshit again.
Yeah.
No,
fighting for it. It just wasn't. It wasn't what it was. That's when the young captain stuff started to come in. The Crosby era.
That was like post-lockout, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it would have been like 2006 or 7.
Yeah, around that time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it was getting like to be a turnoff. Like I love coming to the rink. I love morning practices, but after that, it was just like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
You knew you had enough and time to move on to the next journey in life, I guess, then, eh?
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, if I don't know, I didn't love it like that, like to stick around and do that coaching side of it. I wanted, I was over it.
Mm.
That's
Do you
why I
feel
told
like
my
you'd
kids,
ever coach though? You feel like would you ever try and coach or anything? I feel like you'd be a hell of a coach.
You'd
to
be
be
an
honest.
unreal coach.
I really do feel like that. I'm like you'd really get along with the players, and you'd have your guys working and building as a team. And
I say that all the time to myself, but the truth is I wouldn't say like an OHL team called or something like that. Then I'd consider going for it. But
yeah,
to start grinding my way through life again, no way.
yeah. And the politics of some of these teams, I know I've done the AAA stint for 4 years ago
Dude.
when I got out of hockey. Holy shit, the parents ruin it. It's not the kids. The kids are awesome. The parents ruin it, and I've had so many friends and stuff stop because it's like, holy shit, man, I'm putting 40 hours a week into this, and
No,
so
and to be a coach is a tall order too, man. Like that's and some of these guys are coaching 2 teams. We just ran into one of my good buddies' little girl plays, and she went to a Don Mills tryout. Shout out Briley, and their head coach coaches 2 teams.
Really?
So it's 2 teams plus. So that's what 2, possibly 3 or 4 practices.
Yeah.
Plus off ice training.
Plus games, and then you got tournaments too. Like that's almost a full-time job there. I
don't even know how they I have 2 kids, so there's no way there's no way that's a possible job for me.
Well, one guy who's been on our podcast, I don't think you didn't play with Newberry, right? Chris Newberry? I think he played before you.
The cool thing is that the first year I got cut, I got to play and Noobs invited me to a card game. That's where he was the first guy I ever seen he would chew like 3/4 of a tin, and his lip would be like, it was
some things never change.
It was so he probably still does it, right?
Yeah,
I just quit. I chewed for 7 years. I quit.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, Noobs is coaching. He's helping out with the Trenton Junior A team as assistant coach, and he coaches the AAA team in Kingston. And it's like, where the hell do you have the time? But plus he helps out with World Elite, I think. So shout out to him for the hard work and but like you said, it's a grind. Like that's it's not easy.
It is a grind, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So and unless something's guaranteed, I want nothing to do with it. I don't. But I know deep down I'd be a good coach for sure.
Well,
I know for sure.
Well, 2030 when we bring the Bulls back to Belleville, we'll give you a shout and you can be the coach for sure, buddy.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see tonight. We'll see what happens if I win that long we'll have a conversation. I'd like to buy a house on the Bay of Quinte.
There you go. Yeah. Rendersville Road. I'd love one there too. To have a Sea-Doo.
That's the road we fly from the cottage into Belleville for Donairs.
Oh yeah? Is that where you take?
Yeah.
I think Doc Vaughn used to live on there, didn't he?
He lived on Red. They had a beautiful home.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Jeez.
Beautiful home, right on the water, nice pool. It was. They had. I can't remember what function they had. Not the alumni, but there was some sort of reunion they had there, and they had some sort of summertime party there, and it was great, man. Just beautiful, great food, drinks, all that jazz. They were really, really awesome people, the Vaughns.
Yeah.
Just the best, yeah. Just like some people said, owners, they sat with the people, right, kind of thing. Like they weren't up in boxes, kind of thing. And they sat down.
They made it a community team. That's the difference right now. You look at when Belleville, the last few years of the Belleville Bulls and even the Belleville Senators, it's not a community team like it was back in the 90s and early 2000s. It's just back then, you drive down the street and every restaurant or whatever, especially during playoffs, go Bulls, go, Bulls this, Bulls that. It's all over the paper. They didn't have social media then. It was everywhere. Now you don't even see it.
Even I used to go with Doc Vaughn and we used to bring apples to the old age homes.
Okay. Really?
I used to do that with him all the time. He'd call me on a Sunday morning or afternoon and say, "You want to come with me?" And he'd pick me up and we'd go deliver apples into the old age homes and stuff.
Huh. It's funny that they guys like that, the amount of effort they put in that people don't even know about, right?
Yeah. And I forgot about that. I never, ever mentioned that. I always mentioned we did breakfast clubs and we did after-school programs and we did this and that. And I forgot about that. That was pretty cool because that was like special. It was one-on-one time with him, with the owner of a team, and it was a doctor.
Yeah. Well, lots to learn there for sure, right?
Yeah.
But you got anything else, Flem?
Yeah, I was just say. So here's one for you. Did you ever have any rivalries with guys in the OHL? Like maybe just a guy you knew maybe you're going to fight the next night or when you're going to play them kind of thing, or was it just kind of everything natural, or was there one or two guys you just really didn't like?
Who I didn't like was Adam. I think his name was Adam Smith or Adam Smythe.
Adam Smythe, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Played for the 67s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I fought him probably 4 or 5 times. I didn't like him because when we fought the first time and we were going, like, we threw like 5 or 6 punches, and then he was like, I'm good. And stupid me, I'm giving you the respect, and then he turned it on again. So then the next time we fought, we grabbed on, and I was like, oh, I'm good. And he gave me the respect back, and then I cocked him a bunch of times. And then from that point on, I just, we hated each other. I wouldn't say I'd say he hated me as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But rivalries for sure, I would say Kingston and the 67s.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
100% agree with that back in the day.
Did it ever was it a sore spot that the 67s won the OHL championship that first year? Because they beat you out for second round, right? So is that something?
Was second round or first round?
Second round, because you guys played Kingston round 1, right?
And I don't know if that was. I think that might have been the goal. That's when I knew the hockey gods were in our favor, because I think I went out to block the shot. I blocked it and it went right over to like John Zion or somebody buried it, like teed up a perfect one-timer for him. So that's what I was like. Sometimes like the story's already written,
mm-hmm, yeah,
and there's nothing you can do, because we should have been champions our first year, I think.
Yeah,
yeah, what a team
guaranteed.
That was.
Yeah, and if not our first year, our second year, we should have been champions. I should have an OHL ring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Were Renzi and Rob, because I think they may have been the only 2 guys left from like the championship team. Were they like big rah guys? Like, did they really want it come that last year, second year, I guess?
What do you mean?
Well, just because they were the guys, they won the OHL championship, right? I think they would have been the last of that group. So, I mean, like, you had 2 guys on the team that won the OHL championship. Like, were they really the drivers trying to get you guys over the hump that second year, or were they just kind of quieter guys in the room about it? Like,
quieter guys.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Unless Renzi's telling stories, then he's not quiet.
Yeah. He's a beauty. One wicked story with him is I'll never forget is because he thinks he's the best looking guy in the city. And he's delusional. But he lost his tooth. I hope I didn't repeat this story. I hate repeating stories. But we were in Oshawa, and he got like high sticked and lost a tooth. And this is a true story, bro. His mom was sitting in the stands, and he went right to like the glass, and he started doing this, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he used to do the clearest slow pads in between intermissions and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Eh?
What?
Oh, yeah, he was nuts.
Well, he had a rocking girlfriend at the time, right? Like, she was.
Oh, he did, yeah. That turned out to be his wife, didn't it?
Yeah, that was
his first wife.
Yeah.
And he got.
Yeah.
And he got married at the center ice in Belleville or something. Wasn't that the same?
No,
that
was the second one.
Oh, that was his other one.
Or third.
Yeah. So let's just say, leave it alone, boys.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just thought that was cool though. That one of his weddings, he got married.
And they were in Bulls jerseys and referee jersey.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were many of the guys at the wedding? Or?
I think it was. I think it would have just been them.
Just them kind of thing.
Or maybe them and family. I think I just seen it in the paper or something.
Yeah. See,
hey, here's the thing. Do any of you guys have any hookups to try and find or see if there's any way to track down any Belleville Bulls fights that I might have been in?
Fights?
Yeah.
We can ask a guy we know that's like a videographer, but I don't know if he'd have anything kind of thing. But
yeah,
he has old Bulls clips, so but we can.
As shitty as it sounds, and I hope he's not listening, was I knocked the guy out from Barrie, and it was on Kojiko. I had the VHS, but I don't have it anymore. So that's one fight I'd like to get back because it was a good one.
Do you remember his name? I'll check it out for it.
The guy that I fought was Ryan. I think Ryan Shannon.
Okay.
If it's on Kojiko, you think Kojiko would have something like you'd be able to get a copy or something.
Yeah.
I think, but
I'll ask around and see what we can find. See what we can dig up.
Yeah, if you could dig anything up, that'd be super cool. Because I just got a DVD from a guy in Philadelphia who found like 13 of my East Coast hockey fights.
Oh, no,
Oh, yeah?
that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was super cool, right? The quality's decent, but it's still, you know what I mean, still to have it, right? It's pretty dope.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some great ones from the OHL too. Like, just
There
floating out
was
there.
and that's what I can't understand. Like, there's only like 3 or 4, and they're okay. Like the Amadeo one's the best from the O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say I fought McGrattan on there is super cool, but it's not much. Paul Duke and Danny Bois, I think, which was okay at best. But I had a couple wicked fights out of 54 of them, and I can't find any of them.
Yeah.
But back then, every game wasn't videotaped, right?
No, they were all videotaped.
Were they all video?
Yeah, whether they were done professionally or each team was doing their own recordings.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I fought a guy in Mississauga, Andrew Smale. He was like 6'6" or 6'7". I put it on him real good, but it's from so far. All you catch is his head going like that. Yeah, so it's pretty dope.
One fight that I was looking at your hockey card or your hockey fights card there. I didn't know you fought this guy, but Cam Jansen. Remember fighting him? Like, how'd that go?
Super good. But again, that's the experience, right? He wasn't what he turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
He was tough and bonkers and shit like that. But even at that young age, he was so strong. Like, the fight wasn't. To be honest with you, I know I would even say it was a draw. I wouldn't say anybody put it on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would remember, like, if I got my head kicked in, or I'd remember if I kicked his head in. But I just think it was a good fight.
Yeah.
But I remember when he took his shirt off, his arms, man, were like that. Like,
yeah,
he was huge.
He always did that.
Thick.
He always took the shirt off and
yeah, geared right down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember the night he fought Gilmore in Belleville, and I don't know if a lot of guys remember this, but I think it was literally late because they fought in the first period, not off the start, but later in the first period, I'm pretty sure he got a penalty shot in that game too.
Oh, in the same game.
In the same game, yeah, I'm pretty sure he got a penalty shot at the end of the first period, and they let him take, and I know he did because the guy sitting behind us like they're not going to let Cam take it, and sure enough, they sent him out and he didn't score, but.
But you can't switch the player, I don't think, can you?
I think you can.
Was it a hand on the puck?
I don't remember exactly. I was pretty young back then. I remember he fought Gilmore like second or third shift, and then right at the end of the first, he got one. He didn't score, but. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jansen. I fought anybody that was tough. Like, you know what I mean. I fought them all that were Jansen, McGrattan,
Josh Grattan, McMorrow, kind of right.
Josh Grattan, McMorrow, Sean McMorrow. Yeah, you're on it.
Yeah,
usually I know all those.
I was looking up the other day. What's one or two of your most memorable fights in the O?
Definitely the Shannon one because the truth of the story is I think he was a rookie, and I was a seasoned vet, so I should have put it on him, but he was a dash taller than me and longer arms. And I think when I was throwing with him, he was hitting me with everything, and I wasn't hitting him. Like, I had to knock him out to decisively win this fight. And then I put him right out, like, for, 7-8 minutes.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Out cold behind the net, yeah.
Did that bother you at all, or were you just kind of business as usual?
You know what's crazy, man, is the first 2-3 minutes of it, the crowd's going off the wall, and my adrenaline's pumping, and then after, the third minute, I'm like, okay, man, get up.
Get up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, so... That part of it's scary for sure. That long, usually you knock a guy out, it's like bang bang and he's up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I broke his orbital bone too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And you were a lefty too, right? Like you threw a lot of lefts.
Yeah, that's all I threw, man. That's all I threw.
Throw guys off,
like my last, or maybe the Amadeo fight I threw a couple of rights, but
you switched up in that one. Yeah.
It wasn't until my last year pro that I think I really threw a right hand.
Really, eh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all left.
One last thing I wanted to touch on with you, and I know I just remember this about you, but you seem to start a lot of shit in the warm-up or lay the groundwork for what was going on. So do you have any good stories about laying some groundwork, some fights and warm-ups?
Oh, you know what's there's so many, and what's crazy about that is I was like, man, how do I bring that up? But warm-up, I love shit disturbing warm-up. In Belleville, we took the net from I think it was from Kingston and Ottawa, and we warmed up with 2 nets. It wasn't until they were livid for I think it was 8 or 9 minutes of warm up. They had no net, and then the following game I took the pucks. They had no pucks, and I would every couple of minutes I'd send one down. Excuse me. But one of the coolest stories was we were in the Sioux and I was playing against my good friend Trevor Daly, and I might even have said this story to you guys, but I flicked the puck at him, and Alan Nolan, who was a tough guy in his team, took a full-blown howitzer and just about broke my face.
Oh, no.
So, dude, it missed me by like millimeters. Like I can still hear the and that brought everybody to center ice. That was like a wicked jousting match, spearing and yelling and screaming, and that set off. I think we had 3 or 4 fights that night in the Sioux. Gilly fought McGrattan, which was unbelievable. I fought Nolan, and then there was 2 or 3 other fights that night. It was incredible. The warm-up shit always. I think I got to play against Kluche, my first year. And he was hanging his ass over the red line, and Paul Lacelli skated up behind him and gave him a wicked 2-hander right in the cheeks. And brought everybody to center ice and, another jousting match. We had all kinds of those, man. One of my best ones was in pro. Can't remember the guy's first name, but his last name was Simoes. And we were in Laredo, and I'd ride the red line, like I'd cross the line really hard in warm-up, like a sign of disrespect. And then he came to San Angelo, and he thought I wasn't paying attention, but I seen him out of my peripheral that he was crossing the red. So then I timed it perfectly where we were going to meet, right dead at center ice, and he didn't even see me. And I timed it, and I hit him with a flying elbow, man. I honestly don't. Yeah,
Ty Domi style.
Off the ropes.
I don't think he played that game.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah. And how I wasn't suspended forever, I have no idea. Like, I think my intentions was to hit him, but I'm almost positive it was a flying elbow I caught him.
Were the linesmen out there for warm-up back then, or no? Because I know there was a time
in the O they weren't.
Yeah.
Because they came out in Kingston. They came out in their underwears, like jock and underwears, because it was nuts. Yeah.
Surprising there wasn't more things didn't pop off, especially back then, right? Like, no lines or anything out.
But that 10-minute misconduct was a big one, right? Like, that was a big fuck. If you get that, you're in the doghouse for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's crazy. As crazy as we all were, we had that respect and the boundary, and when you were spearing guys, you were only spearing in the guts. You weren't spearing them in the face or two-handed them. Yeah. So there was still that respect, which was really cool.
I like that. You got any more, Brokey?
What's that? No, I'm good. I love the stories. I love listening to them, and I love to hear. We just speared him in the gut. That was the respect, right? It's funny. People say that now. What do you mean you speared him? Like, that's illegal, But you knew what you were doing, and it could always been worse.
And that's why I say, like, you don't have to say sorry because you know what you're doing. If you do something gutless, sorry doesn't cut it because you knew what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. You made that decision, but
yeah.
No, buddy, it's been awesome. Silverstone 2.0 has been a great time. You're our second guy to come on twice, I think. I know Renzi was the first one, and he chirped you about that at the tournament, I think. But we appreciate
don't get
you.
me twisted. I told him that you guys bought me a box of $95 golf balls, and he was pissed.
Oh no, he'll be asking for golf balls next time. But
because he wouldn't shut up, so I kept telling him, "Did they give you the $500 per diem?" He was choked.
We'll get him going with something. We'll chirp him about something. But
absolutely.
Was it nice to see the guys in the golf tournament? Or?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm in 100%, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll send you the details when everything gets finalized again, and hopefully you can make it. But we're going to make it even and bigger and better than it was this year, and that's what we're trying to do with Pay It Forward Sports and get even more kids, underprivileged kids, into sports. We got right around 30 this year, and hopefully we can somewhat double that possibly next year. Flum?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah. Man. So thanks for coming on. But
sorry, just the last one.
No.
We got time, yeah.
This is my pump my tires from. This is about my kids. When you guys, I just seen the jersey in the background there, Flem, the Pay It Forward Sports jersey.
Yeah.
Wendell Clark signing the jerseys, and I said, "Kids, that's Wendell Clark. Like, that's one of Daddy's hockey heroes. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get a picture of him." They're like, "All right, yeah." So they're like, "What's he doing?" I said, "He's autographing the jerseys." And then I'm not sure if it was I think it was you, Flem, that said, "Hey, can you sign the jerseys?" So I grabbed the marker and then I start signing, and I hear Lincoln say to Veda, Lincoln says to Veda, is Daddy signing autographs? And Veda, when I heard it, I looked over and Veda goes, "Lincoln, Dad's a legend."
I love it. The legend, the legend himself,
Well,
David
that made-
Silverstone.
Thank you so much, guys.
That's
I
got to
really
be the
enjoyed it.
intro, Flem. Now, eh? The
Yeah,
legend.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's my daughter said that. I couldn't believe. Made my day.
Well,
Did you like that whole placement? Because you were one behind Wendell at the tournament, right? So you were following him all day. And,
Yeah, the whole time. And what a gentleman. What a gentleman.
Yep.
Mhm,
Yeah. No, you guys, what you guys are doing again, you don't need any. You guys are doing incredible stuff. So keep it up, man. And thanks for making me a part of it.
No,
Well, thanks for
absolutely.
coming on the podcast, buddy. We appreciate this too, helping us out as well. So, and it's great hearing the stories. I'm sure it brings back good memories for you. We hear that from all of our guests on here that they love coming on and chatting because it makes them think about the good times, right?
Yeah.
And the funny stories and obviously the fights and, all the memories and the bar nights. And I like the one about Randy though. I'm going to ask him about that too.
Ask him about that. That's a true story, bro.
Yeah.
4 beers, 4 goals.
Holy jump.
And not that he did that all the time at lunchtime, or I don't know, but that was a special. And I was like, dude, this is one of the biggest nights. Like, and he's like, yeah, for every beer I have at lunch over, I'm going to score a goal. He had 4 beers and scored 4 goals.
Unreal.
Awesome.
I
love that.
I had nothing but protein shakes and ultimate orange supplements, and I didn't get one.
Maybe they have to put you with Spezza to get that many in a night, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, thanks
All right,
for
buddy.
coming on, buddy. We had tons of fun, and if you ever want to come on again, just to shoot the shit, and maybe even talk about just the Leafs or the Senators, whatever, we'd love to have you on. All the people from Belleville love you, and like your little girl said, you're truly a legend.
Thank you very much, guys. I wish you guys health and happiness. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Cheers, buddy. Take care.
Take care, buddy.